Channel 9, KTSM TV, El Paso.
Stopping the oil rampage.
The cleanup next.
News Center 9 with Sylvia Gomez and Bob Clark.
Good evening. This Sunday is clouded with oil for folks in several states tonight. In Texas, cleanup efforts are making headway while crews are still bogged down on the East Coast. The Delaware River spill has washed up on the shores of Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
But the worst spill is in Rhode Island, where beaches are still closed and a shellfishing ban remains in effect. NBC's Robert Hager reports.
Thick, gooey globs of oil are scattered along a 13-mile stretch. The Coast Guard is using skimmer boats to try to clear it, but admits that progress has been very slow and that the skimmers aren't very effective. Officials say it's still early to assess environmental damage along the Delaware River. Some of the riverbank is industrial, but there are also marshlands, and there are already some reports of dead birds. Far to the north, in the Narragansett Bay of Rhode Island, the estimate of oil spilled when a Greek tanker hit rocks has now been lowered to 500,000 gallons, only about a third as much as originally feared. This oil is very thin, almost like gasoline, so it dissipates more quickly than thick oil. Rhode Island Governor Edward Dupree.
However, the good news is this is a very hot, sunny day, and a lot of this oil is going to evaporate today. And we have a couple of days of weather like this, followed by some heavy rain. That'll help us an awful lot.
Swimming was forbidden at beaches near the resort town of Newport, and harvesting of clams was suspended. Some dead birds and dead lobsters were found, but with favorable winds blowing much of the oil to sea, officials hope damage in the Narragansett Bay will be light. The third oil spill in Texas off the Bay of Galveston is almost completely under control tonight. Winds pushed most of the oil into one channel where it could be vacuumed up easily. The new oil spills come as the oil industry is still reeling from the big spill in Alaska. The new spills are much smaller, but critics say they're a sign that problems persist. Environmentalist and former Senator Gaylord Nelson.
The federal government doesn't have its act together, the Coast Guard doesn't have its act together, and the oil companies don't have their act together.
Nelson says the spills have come from simple mistakes that simply shouldn't be allowed to occur. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
Nearby in the nation's capital, congressmen are up in arms over recent Supreme Court decisions. One ruling supports burning the American flag as a First Amendment right. But the country's lawmakers are pushing through measures of their own to try and ban flag burning. Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell says freedom of speech doesn't necessarily include physical actions.
The protesters involved in this case had full and ample opportunity to make their speeches, and they did. It is not necessary to provide them the opportunity further to burn or desecrate the flag in order to get their dissent across.
Supreme Court analysts say this week of controversial rulings shows the influence of the Reagan administration on the court.
Gays across the country are exercising their rights to free speech. In San Francisco, hundreds of thousands of gays and lesbians marched in a parade to mark the 20th anniversary of the Stonewall incident. This sparked the modern gay rights movement. Thousands more turned out to watch. In New York, parade participants met with heckling from anti-gay demonstrators. Some gays got into a scuffle with police, but many marked this day as a time to celebrate freedom to admit their sexuality.
20 years ago, we were invisible. Then we went through a period of being on the edge and getting to know one another. Now we're moving into the mainstream American life. We're being accepted. We're dealing with a terrible epidemic. And I think we're a more mature community, but I think mainly America has come a long way and dealing with us honestly.
Many say the parades are a sign that times have changed. Texas will have a new governor next year. Coming up, we'll meet one Republican who wants the job.
The expo wraps up in Juarez, and it made a lot of money. We'll tell you how much when we come back.
Most of our customers come to AutoZone for low prices and parts they can replace themselves. But many come because we speak their language, duration and lift, compression ratio, stuff like that. Because a guy who can rebuild an engine won't buy parts from just anybody. And since AutoZone stocks complete engines, we know what makes them tick inside and out. At AutoZone, we sell the best quality parts for the best prices. But if we know something that'll help you do the job right, you get that free.
Attention, this is a burger alert. America is being invaded by burgers. Citizens are being turned into burger zombies. To avoid being burgerated, go to your nearest Arby's. Only by tasting the Arby's difference, slow roasted roast beef, can you escape burgeration. Fight back against burgers. Together, we can win.
Seek relief from burgeration. For a limited time, Arby's Beef and Cheddar is on sale for just $1.79. Stop by and try one today. Offer good at participating Arby's.
How can you tell when someone you love needs help? Look for warning signs, like anger and violence, loss of control, not being able to cope, inability to sleep or sleeping too much, overwhelming depression. If you or someone you love is in trouble, Charter can help. We offer real solutions to your family's problems.
Don't wait until it's too late. Call Charter Hospital of Santa Teresa.
Hi, folks, I'm Dick Poe. Have you got $1?
Die Leute von Saarbrücken, Bundesrepublik Deutschland sagen, Hallo Dick.
Now at all 4 Dick Poe locations, Friday, Sunday, and Monday, the biggest sale in our history. Choose from over 1,200 new and used cars for just $1 down.
Have you got $1?
$1 down buys your new 89 Chrysler, Plymouth, Pontiac, Toyota, Suzuki, Daihatsu, and Honda. Hurry in Friday, Sunday, and Monday to all 4 Dick Poe locations and buy your new car for just $1 down.
Dick Poe's family of dealerships saves you money.
The Texas drug problem is the #1 priority for the first Republican to announce his run for governor. Texas businessman Clayton Williams announced his candidacy Wednesday and is in El Paso today. The 57-year-old says drugs are corrupting Texas kids. He says first offenders are usually kids, and what they need is hard work, not jail time.
I'd like to teach these first offenders military discipline, early morning calisthenics, and the joys of breaking rocks while they're building roads for a park for people of Texas.
Williams says prison overcrowding means drug dealers serve only 1 day out of 6 of their sentence. He wants to build enough prisons to keep the hardcore drug offenders off Texas streets. Hundreds of workers in charge of the Texas prison system are in El Paso this evening. They're here taking part in this year's Texas Corrections Association statewide conference. The 5-day conference will focus on the successes and failures of the Texas prison system. The program will include a session on how to predict violent behavior, something especially important to the dozens of parole officers attending the conference.
A statute that was passed.
You have to realize that the people we're dealing with are not considered the pillars of society. These individuals have committed probably every crime known to mankind. And many times, we have to go out there and supervise these folks.
Parole officers say new federal laws prohibiting prison overcrowding are responsible for setting free more prisoners, increasing parole officer caseloads.
Money is flowing, though a month-long party is winding down. Across the border, Juarez's are bidding farewell to their expo. More than 50,000 people have enjoyed rides, food, and art on display this month. Art buffs have appreciated works by artists Juan Gabriel and Jose Luis Rodriguez. But today, the fair comes to an end, though not before bringing at least 100 million pesos to our sister city. Well, there's still no rain in sight for El Paso, but it looks like there'll be plenty of blistering heat. The forecast is next.
And we'll meet some nuns who are really flying high. We're off to the races after weather.
Fortune Lincoln Mercury is saying yes again. Yes to low prices. Yes to low monthly payments. Yes to more money for your trade-in.
Come on down to Fortune and I'll say yes.
Yes with Lincoln Town Cars priced at $21,466.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes.
Yes with Mercury Topaz priced at $95,66.
It's very simple. We're going to say yes 200 times.
Fortune Lincoln Mercury will say yes to you.
Come on down and we'll all say yes.
Me and the girls are going to have like some kind of awesome day. I got Kentucky Fried Chicken's new summer fun pack. 10 pieces of original recipe chicken made with 11 herbs and spices, large mashed potatoes and gravy, lots of coleslaw, and 4 buttermilk biscuits, all for a cool $10.99. After we eat, I'm going to kick back, catch a few rays. And some waves.
Cross the road for Kentucky Fried Chicken's new $10.99 summer fun pack.
There are muffler shops all over town that want your business. But you know what? Nobody beats Midas. Mr. Mullen here went looking all over for a muffler shop that had the know-how to get him in and out fast. He could have saved himself a lot of time if he came here first. At Midas, we do almost 5 million exhaust jobs a year. We can usually get you in and out in less than an hour, no matter what kind of car you have. Hey, we invented this business over 30 years ago. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Stop. Before you buy a Nissan, Toyota, or Honda, visit the new Rudolph Mitsubishi at I-10 and McRae. For example, right now you can buy a new 90 Mitsubishi Eclipse for only $10,995. The all-new Eclipse has a 1.8-liter engine, adjustable front bucket seats, tilt steering, full instrumentation, AM/FM stereo, all standard, and all yours for only $10,995. Come test drive a new Mitsubishi Eclipse at the all-new Rudolph Mitsubishi at I-10 and McRae, next to Rudolph Hyundai.
A lot of you called us here at the station today wondering what that strange ring was around the sun, John.
That's right, Bob. It's called a halo. We'll talk more about it during the show right now. But at 10 o'clock under fair skies in El Paso, we're at 82 degrees, 80 in Las Cruces, relative humidity 15%, dew point 30 degrees, barometer rising 29.95, and the winds out of the northwest at 3. The high today, 100 big ones, folks, after a morning low of 63. No rain today, 2.10 so far for the year. The satellite loop goes into motion. I step in front of it and tell you that Tropical Storm Cosme that left all the moisture down by Houston way continues pushing a lot of moisture there. Up to 10 inches of rain may fall even into the evening hours along Louisiana, back into Texas, along the Gulf Coast. A lot of rain down there. The other weather story right up here in the state of Nebraska, numerous tornadoes reported today in central Nebraska with damage up there. So that's the big weather story. Storms up in the Midwest and along the East Coast, spotty down toward Florida. And around here, we just could not generate anything toward El Paso. It all stayed right down south of the area. Now let's talk about that halo today. A lot of people called on it. That's a 22-degree halo, we call that. That shows you the presence of ice crystals which refract or bend visible light. And that's the angle between the sun and the halo is seen by the observer, that's you and I, is 22 degrees. Therefore, it's the 22-degree halo. And the reason is sunlight comes through these large hexagonal, I can say it, ice crystals that are scattered in the atmosphere, and that's what creates that effect. So, hope you saw it today. Interesting meteorological event. Thunderstorms tomorrow along the Gulf Coast. Thunderstorms up toward New England tomorrow. Cold front in the center of the nation. Thunder showers up toward the northern Rockies for tomorrow. Satellite image here. There are the thunderstorms in Old Mexico. They just did not quite make it into the area tonight. And still some spotty rains in parts of East Texas as well, where the rains continue falling there. Super radar shows that there is some spotty precipitation along the eastern part of our country, back into Florida, right along the Gulf Coast into the southeastern part of our country, and then big storms from the Front Range of Colorado and the plains of Colorado right up to Nebraska, southwestern Minnesota tonight as well. Around here, just one thunderstorm over north of the Del City area in New Mexico, and that's about it. We move on to temperatures around the country. Pick out your favorite location. Right now, it's 77 for Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. Boy, is that easy on the weatherman tonight. And 80 degrees down in Brownsville. Regional temperatures 80 in Lubbock, 79 Midland, 83 in Deming, 85 in TRC, 83 in Alamogordo, 80 in Las Cruces, 82 in El Paso. The highs for tomorrow, well, folks, the 100s have snuck up on the doorstep one more time. Then come the 90s over much of the country, the 80s. We run it out with the 70s up by Seattle, up by Duluth, and up by beautiful downtown Bangor, Maine for tomorrow. And tomorrow is Monday, June the 26th, sunrise 6:02, sunset 8:15. No records tonight, and don't look for a record high tomorrow. So tonight you may expect a low of 68 under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, 100 sunny and hot as we move on to Sunday. Or make that the day after. How about Monday, 101. On Tuesday, 101-ish. Wednesday, upper 90s. So, couldn't get any rain in this weekend. Sorry about that. And tomorrow, Ted Bender returns. I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. Talia and I will do weather next weekend. And I'm going to Milwaukee and talk some sense to those Brewer bats in Milwaukee.
Well, maybe Talia can bring us some rain next week.
We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks a lot, John.
Okay. Thank you, John. Well, it might be called a race for the rosaries. 8 Irish nuns exchanged their habits for jockey uniforms today. The second annual Nun Run was held in Ireland. Sister Olive Irwin romped home with first prize in the 1-mile charity race. She received a silver trophy and about $1,600. She beat out the favorite, Chastity's Delight, ridden by Sister Siobhan O'Rourke. Sister O'Rourke is a former model whose other hobbies include motorcycles and parachute jumping. Sister Celia Doyle confessed she felt safer crossing crocodile-infested waters than riding her pony, Holy Rosary. Well, putting things off until the last minute may not be healthy. We'll find out why on Healthline.
And Pete Rose finds out if he has to face the commissioner of baseball tomorrow. Shane Whitehead will have the judge's decision next in sports.
Right now at the all-new Rudolph Volkswagen, you can buy a new '89 Volkswagen Jetta for only $10,995. That's right, a new Jetta from Rudolph with air conditioning, reclining bucket seats, cloth interior, and much more, just $10,995. And with every new Volkswagen purchase from Rudolph, you'll receive free gas and a free anti-theft device. Remember, it's only at the all-new Rudolph Volkswagen in the Rudolph Chevrolet facility on North Mesa next to the UTEP campus.
Our engineers at Stop and Go introduced the $1.8 million summer fun game. The grand prize, a BMW 735i for $50,000 cash. With luxury features like Glastron powerboats, plus over $1 million instant prizes, Sony cassette recorders, Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars, quarter-pound Oscar Mayer hot dogs, 22-ounce Fountain Coke, and more. All available now at Stop and Go's throughout Texas.
If you have a good kid with a bad problem, if a loved one has lost control due to alcohol or drugs, or you or someone you know seems too depressed too often, we want to help. I am Dr. Jacob Schutt, Medical Director of HCA Sun Valley Regional Hospital. For nearly a decade, the regional hospital has provided the finest mental health care in the El Paso area. A consultation is available free of charge, so call now, 544-4000.
In New Mexico, Ford is first.
First in sales with Ford Escort, New Mexico's best-selling car. Escort comes loaded. Power steering, AM/FM stereo, tinted glass, and more. Buy now and get 2.9 factory financing or $750 cash back. With cash back, your Escort is just $75.09. 2.9 or cash back on Ford Escort.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Tonight's sports quiz, how many rounds are there in this year's NBA draft?
Well, Pete Rose slid in by the skin of his teeth, didn't he?
Round 1 complete today, round 2 in 14 days. Round 1 of the legal battle between Bart Giamatti, Major League Baseball, and Pete Rose has gone to the Cincinnati manager. Ohio Judge Norbert Nadel gave Rose a 14-day restraining order that put a halt to tomorrow's hearing with Giamatti on gambling allegations. Nadel agreed with Rose's contention that the baseball commissioner has prejudged the case.
It therefore appears to this court at this point that the commissioner of baseball has prejudged Peter Edward Rose. We further find that the hearing set tomorrow in New York before the commissioner of baseball would be futile and illusory, and the outcome a foregone conclusion.
I'm just pleased that we get the next opportunity, and I'll be pleased after that.
The order prohibits Rose from being suspended or fired for the next 2 weeks. A hearing on a preliminary restraining order will be held on July 6th. Just hours after the announcement, Oral Hershiser gave up 11 hits but no runs as the Dodgers clobbered the Reds in Cincinnati 7-zip. Tony Gwynn hit a 3-run homer, singled 3 times, and drove in 4 runs as the Padres outslugged the Giants. In Atlanta, the Astros totaled 18 hits to beat the Braves 12-6 and sweep the 3-game series. Houston actually trailed 5-4 in the 7th but came up with 3 runs to take the lead. Gerald Young drove in 2 with a single. They added 5 more in the 9th to complete the blowout. In Pittsburgh, John Smiley pitched and hit the Pittsburgh Pirates to a 5-3 victory over St. Louis. Smiley allowed 5 hits over 6 2/3 innings and helped the offense with this RBI double. He's now 7-2 on the season. Montreal scored 2 runs in the 7th and added a 3 spot in the 9th to gain a shutout win over the Cubs. And Sid Fernandez won his first game since May 9th as the Mets down Philly. In the American League, former El Paso Diablo Jamie Navarro held Chicago to 1 run in 7 1/3 innings to pitch Milwaukee over the White Sox 3-1. Navarro earned his first victory in his 2nd major league start. Nice job, Jamie. The Brewers scored all 3 of their runs in the 4th inning. 2 of them came when White Sox third baseman Steve Lyons threw wildly on Mike Felder's bunt. In Seattle, an obstruction call on Detroit's Dave Bergman led to 3 unearned runs, and the Mariners beat the Tigers 5-3 in the 2nd inning. Bergman fielded a grounder, ran across the infield to chase Scott Bradley back to 3rd. Bergman threw to 3rd, but was called for obstructing the runner's progress, allowing Bradley to score. Wally Joyner homered and drove in 3 runs as the Angels held on to beat the Orioles. Ricky Henderson had 3 hits, drove in 2 runs, stole 3 bases, and scored 2 runs. Try saying that 3 times as the A's beat the Jays. The Yankees scored 3 runs in the 6th to beat the Royals. The Twins 14 hit the Red Sox, and Texas topped Cleveland 4-2 on a Nolan Ryan 1-hitter. In Texas League play today, the Diablos won their 2nd straight. They scored 4 runs in the 1st inning, 4 more in the 4th On their way to a 5-run win over Wichita, the Diablos trail first-place Midland by just 2 games. In basketball, former UTEP star Tim Hardaway will be drafted in Tuesday's NBA draft, but when and where will he go? 27 NBA teams have contacted UTEP concerning Hardaway, but only a few of those have expressed real interest in the guard. Those teams are Expansion Minnesota, Expansion Orlando, Indiana, and Golden State. Tim himself has heard some good things.
By myself, I may go